What brings you to my little home? So, you've brought something for me to Yes, this is a genuine Nirnroot sample. Very nice quality, in fact. That gives me an idea. Since you already know what they look like, do you feel up to a bit of a collecting expedition? Excellent. But before you go, you're going to need to learn a bit more about Nirnroot. Otherwise, you may walk in circles and never find any. A few years ago, an adventurer not unlike yourself sold me a musty old tome containing alchemical formulas. Most of them were worthless. But one of the moldy pages contained a recipe for a potion known as an elixir of exploration, a sort of ultimate dungeon delver's brew. The formula looked sound, except it required an extremely rare ingredient. Yes, you guessed it, the Nirnroot. I put the book aside because, frankly, I had so many other delicate experiments going on that I just didn't have the time to go plant hunting. Now that you're here, that changes things. I bought some wine from David Surly. Excellent body. He's a fine vintner. The Elixir of Exploration is a multi-purpose potion that was obviously created with the Dungeon Explorer in mind. The formula describes many magnitudes of the brew. If you're interested, I wrote a short missive about it for the Imperial Alchemy Symposium. You bring me 10 samples of Nirnroot, and I'll make the elixir available to you at a huge discount, as well as give you one for free. The best place for you to start would be Shadeleaf Copse, which is a part of the Great Forest northeast of here. Good luck, and hurry back with more of the Nirnroot. How go... If you need to know more about the... Be careful in Shadeleaf Copse. No telling what else resides there besides...
Okay, das heißt, wir gehen den Wurz sammeln später, aber wir haben noch andere Quest. Genau das, den Vampir von Bruma. Der interessiert mich nämlich auch noch. Da draußen ist er irgendwo unterwegs.
Hi there.
Hallo. Der hier in die Höhle? In die Höhle, in das Haus. Sagt, das ist ja keine Höhle.
You're going to have to leave. This is a crime scene, and no one other than ourselves or Reynold Drayless will be allowed access. The culprit in this crime has already been dealt with. It's just a matter of wrapping up the details. I'd tell you more, but frankly, I don't know who you are. So go ahead. What? See, that'll get you something. I suppose there's no harm in telling you what happened. Word is bound to get around Bruma anyway. Turns out that Brayden Lyrian is a vampire. Or was. If it wasn't for Reynold Drayless, we may have never uncovered the truth. Let me explain. In the last week or so, we found 2 bodies stashed in shallow graves outside the city walls. The bodies had puncture wounds on their necks. The bodies were those of some beggars who used to wander the streets looking for handouts. Vampire probably thought no one would miss them. Luckily for us, Reynold arrived in town. He said he was a vampire hunter, so we asked for his help. He tracked the vampire to this house. When he entered the place around noon, Brayden was sleeping. He was able to slay him at that point. Luckily, Brayden's wife wasn't home. Poor thing. She didn't even know her husband was infected. We did a follow-up investigation, and it's true that no one recollects seeing Brayden out in the daylight. He's only been spotted at night. I'm afraid there's not much more to tell you. So you can see we really don't need any help. But thanks for the offer. I'm impressed. It only took him a day to track the vampire down. I guess that's why he does it for a living. As far as I know, he was a good man. I never saw this coming. But vampires are masters of deception, so I guess it makes sense. Feel free to question anyone in town. They shouldn't give you too much trouble.
Excuse me.
Perhaps you can help me. I can't believe this is happening. Please, please, I need your help. My husband was no vampire. It's ridiculous. No one will listen to me. Forgive me. I loved my husband dearly, and to lose him this way makes no sense. Anything you can do to help would be wonderful. This is all happening so fast. I came home only just a few hours ago. I found the door open, and my Braden dead. Standing over him was a Dunmer. I screamed and ran out into the street. Some city watch were nearby and heard me, I suppose, as they arrived quickly. I heard the Dunmer identify himself as Reynold Drayless. He said he was a vampire hunter and that Braden was his mark. The guards seemed to know about Reynold, and after a search of the house, the body of some beggar was found stashed in our basement. The guards sent for Carius, who is an investigator for crimes here in Bruma. In minutes, Reynold convinced Carius that Braden was a vampire. Well, of course it does. It was obviously planted here. Why would he stash a body in his own house? That's ridiculous. And another thing, the guards are making a big deal out of no one seeing Braden out in the daylight. Well, of course that's the case. He works at night and has to sleep during the day. Why does that make him a vampire? It's all that Reynold character. I don't trust him. The thing that bothers me the most is that I swear I've seen him before. Of course, he says he's never been here. There isn't much more to say. Please, help me clear my husband's name. I understand Bump Gragash trains other Fighters Guild members on the proper use of heavy armor. I have no idea where he'd be. Just find him and make him tell you the truth. I swear he's a liar. I know I sound desperate, but I know I'm right.
So, I'll warn you about one thing. I understand you wanting to help Erline by checking up on Reynold. We have it on good authority from officials in a neighboring city that Reynold is what he says he is. So I'm not sure what you're trying to prove. I'm only allowing you to do this investigation, and I use that term very loosely, because Erline is so distraught. I'm sure Erline is very upset. She'll be safe, though. Reynold has confirmed with us that she isn't infected. Her accusations that Reynold is lying is not surprising. At this point, she's so upset that she'll say anything to deny what really happened. I suppose if I found out a loved one was something as horrid as a vampire, I'd find any excuse not to believe it either. Keep up the, good work.
Sorry.
Na gut, ne, ich kann jetzt nicht ausfinden, wo die Type ist. Vierte der Stadtbefragung, okay. Dahin.
Evening.
Guten Tag.
Good to see you. What can I...
Brenton.
I know I may be out of line by saying this, but I think the city guards may be wrong. It's hard to imagine Braden was a vampire. I could have sworn I saw him outside in the daylight before. Unless he just got that disease very recently, I'd say they were mistaken. When I heard Reynold killed him, I didn't know what to think. But after your visit here, I'm beginning to wonder. I usually don't give out that kind of information, especially to people I don't know. So, well, every little bit helps. I usually don't give out... Yes? That'll get... Thank you. How kind. Raynill's staying in the last room down the hall upstairs. Here's the key. I always liked Brayden and Arlene. They were a nice couple. I hope you get to the bottom of this, because I don't believe he was a vampire either.
Okay, wir haben einen Schlüssel zu seinem Zimmer. Pinsel. Ich habe Randall Zimmer im Gasthaus, ein kleines Zauberwurf, und offenbar gehört er in eine Arbeitergruppe an, die Artefakte aus Edelung gebunden hatte. Sie hatten beschlossen, ihn in dessen Höhle zu verstecken, die sie weiter forschen konnten. Jeder von ihnen besaß einen Schlüssel zu der Truhe, in die sie verwahrt. Die beiden anderen Gruppenmitglieder waren Brandon und jemand namens Celeborn. Ich muss mehr über Celeborn herausfinden, um meinen Verdacht bezüglich Randall zu bestätigen. Olive kann vielleicht dabei helfen.
How do you do?
What can I do? Geliborn? That's odd that you should mention that name. Reynold told me that he was the last vampire he hunted. Yeah, that's right. Somewhere in Skingrad, I believe. He said he tracked Gelborn down and killed him. That's apparently why the guards trust him so readily. They had gotten word from Skingrad's City Watch about Raynil and his so-called accomplishment. I overheard a guard. Just look for me if you need anything. What's your story?
Das heißt, er hat in Skingrad auch schon ein Kalt gemacht. Ey,
Tidings, citizen.
Yes?
warum rennst du so?
We drink because we're happy. We're Nords. It's just the thick tongue and fat head the day after that makes me unhappy.
Okay.
Be seeing ya.
Gut, wir müssen jetzt... Olaf hat mir erzählt, dass Silborn den Skingrad von Reynold getötet wird. Bei Ren behauptet Reynold, ich glaube, er benutzt die Vampirgeschichte, um verschleiern, dass er die Schlüssel für die Truhe mit Artefakt an. Ich soll jetzt mit Caius Renius über Reynold reden, er muss aufgehalten werden.
What?
Okay.
Hello.
So, any new... How'd you know about that? Too many people don't know how to keep quiet about official matters. Very well. The Skingrad City Watch informed us that Geliborn was killed by Raynil not too long ago. Geliborn was a vampire as well, obviously. What do you mean you disagree? That's a bold statement. What proof do you have that Geliborn was not a vampire? I don't know what to say. It all makes perfect sense now. Why else would Raynil have removed this journal from the crime scene in Skingrad? I heard no mention of a key either. It must have been removed by Raynil from Brayden's body before we arrived. To think that 2 innocent men were killed, and that I'm responsible for one of their deaths, I'm speechless. I will rouse the guard and begin a search for him in the city. Meet me at Olav's Tap and Tack in 1 hour.
So. Eine Stunde.
Good to see you.
Olaf Speis und Trank.
What is it?
Just
I take it
before
you
I
want
arrived
something.
here, I received
Well,
a
what
report
is it?
from one of our scouts watching the roads. Raynil was spotted heading west out of Bruma. The scout tried to follow, but lost him in the mountains. The only cave to the west that comes close to the one described in Geliborn's journal. You must get there before he acquires whatever artifact. I'm keeping the city guard in Bruma, as Raynil doesn't know we're after him. If he sees a guard, he may panic and run. You're my only hope at the moment. Please, you have my authorization to do everything you can to bring him to justice. If he won't surrender, I think you know what to do. Hurry. I fear you have a day at the most to stop him. Raynil will pay for both crimes. Geliborn...
Okay.
Please hurry.
Dann jagen wir es in Raynor. Hab ich die schon freigeschalten? Nee, noch nicht. Aber gut, ich kann zur Apfelwacht. Und da in die Nähe einfach hinlaufen. Hier. Da, Waldsteinhöhle. Reiner. Okay. Die Waldsteinhöhle erreicht. Gucken. Ah, da ist er ja. Mr. Fake.
Congratulations. I had a feeling you would catch on sooner or later. Leaving that journal behind was a stupid mistake on my part. I saw you enter Olav's tap and tack before I could get there, and I knew that I had to sneak out of Bruma somehow. It was only a matter of time before you or Carius figured it out. No matter. After I've killed you, I won't need my vampire hunter ruse any longer. Certainly not. I'm surprised Carius didn't send the entire city watch up here. But then I would have seen that coming, I suppose. I expected to lay low here for a while and then be on my way. So again, I underestimated you. This leaves me with little choice. Either I fight you now and have a chance at freedom, or I surrender and rot in a city dungeon. I prefer the chance for freedom. Yes, I suppose it is. Well then, we've talked enough. Only one of us will walk out of here alive this day. Good luck.
Okay. Dann stirbst du. Ciao. Mhm. Mhm. Okay. Hat er hier für eine Waffe gehabt? Einfach nur ein Glaslangschwert. Also nichts Großartiges. Sonst noch irgendwas hier? Heilungstränke. Sonst ist hier nichts, glaube ich. Nur ein bisschen Gold. Die Wand sieht so unscheinbar aus, dass man irgendwas mit der machen könnte, aber ne, sieht nicht so, ist nix. Okay. Wo ist er? Wo lag die Leiche von ihm? Hier. Da. Raus hier. Gut, das war's dann.
Greetings.
I was praying. What news do you bring? I overheard a guard mention the Countess is looking for... Yes. I remember Braden mentioning that name once. He was part of the Brotherhood he had created with Raynor. I knew I recognized Raynor. I think when I first met Braden many years ago, he introduced me to him. They were part of some sort of brotherhood. They would roam Cyrodiil in search of legendary treasures and the like. The only reason he stopped doing that is because we got married and he wanted to settle down. I'm afraid thanks to Raynor, that time is lost. Long ago, I made a promise to Braden. I promised to never reveal to anyone what I'm about to reveal to you now. However, because you've avenged his unjust death, I feel that Braden would understand why I'm breaking that pact. Brayden told me about this amulet when they first brought it home from whatever distant land it came from. He never really trusted anyone else in the group, and before he secured the treasure in that cave, he had a special enchantment placed upon it. The magic masks the true identity of the item. All it takes is a simple command word, and the amulet would be restored to its true state. No, he always feared this day would come. He left me knowledge of that word in the event that he died, and I came into possession of the keys. If the other members of Brayden's group were still alive, and I on my deathbed, only then would I pass the knowledge on to them. If you'd give me that amulet, I would like to show you what you've recovered. Thank you. I will now speak the word, Brotherhood. Here is the amulet back. It's as beautiful as it was the day I remember seeing it long ago. I want you. I'm certain that's what I want, and I'm certain that's what Brayden would want. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. I hope that the amulet helps keep you safe on whatever roads you may travel. I'm glad he's dead. I know that's a horrible thing to say, but I think you understand. Justice has been done.
Das ist also ein Amulett, was dich schneller laufen lässt und alles. Okay. Gut. Perfekt, perfekt.